Okay, so who is ready for a neurology lesson?
Bueller.
Because that's what I got over the last week and a half. First of all, epilepsy is not seizures only, and seizures does not always equal epilepsy. I did not know that. I thought they always went together. That's not true. So Carter has a whole list of symptoms that are present most of the time. What was found on her EEG
Abby who? Abby normal.
is that she is having misfires. These misfires are electrical. So she is like shorting out. Okay. Her body is trying to do the next task that it's trying to complete, and it can't because there's a short in the system. And in Carter's case, there's a short in a couple places. Carter's brain is misfiring in the C3 and T3 or P3 sections of her brain. That is on the left side of her brain, which controls the right side of her body, which is where a lot of her symptoms are at. She has drop foot on that side. When she has her seizures, that is the side that is flailing about. So that's, now we know that's where it is. Those two sections of her brain control all of this. Now, these are what Carter has of that list. Okay, she's on medication for anti-seizures because the seizure is the thing that will damage her brain, not the short circuiting. The short circuiting is just causing the symptoms, one of those symptoms being seizures. She never had seizures until February of this year, just a few months ago. Before that, she had a bunch of these symptoms, okay? So we've been already dealing with some of them, thinking that it was other things like cerebral palsy or if it was autism induced, etc. Now we know she has damage to two parts of her brain, which control the right side of her body and gross motor function, balance, speech, attention span, sleep, a ton of things. And we know that it is only damaging her brain when she's having a seizure. A seizure is only a seizure if the misfire happens for 8 to 10 seconds or longer. So what we're finding with Carter is that she's not having seizures all the time, but she's having these misfires all the time, which is causing staring episodes, not answering to her name, not wanting to be hungry. Sleep is a big issue with her, for her particularly. When she's falling asleep is when they caught all of the misfires that were happening on her EEG. Again, they were happening for a fraction of a second to a second, not anything that was a seizure, just an electrical impulse that's trying to finish a task, in this case, falling asleep. And it was having trouble doing that because it can't connect. So for Carter, it looks like she's falling asleep. Everyone's held a baby. Whenever the baby's going to fall asleep, you hold it, the baby starts to like shake a tiny little second, and then it relaxes. That shake does not make Carter relax. Her body sort of is starting to go into like a fight or flight because this is happening so often. So it's like happening in like a cluster over like 5 minutes. So I hold her through the whole thing to make sure that she's 100% asleep when I'm putting her to sleep. But it definitely, like last night, for example, it took her about 45 minutes to go to sleep, and she was tired. She wanted to go to sleep. Her eyes are closed, and then she like shakes and then like flails and like smacks herself and then like has to like settle back down. Now this will continue to happen in a cluster. So she'll fall back asleep-ish, shake herself awake, and then it will start all over again. It's also happening in the middle of the night when she's sleeping. So she's been waking up between 2 and 3 in the morning and just being awake or trying to go back to sleep, but she can't because her body can't finish that process. These are like, this is just like the main things that are happening with Carter right this second. All of the things happen on different days. Some days she sleeps great. Some days she eats great. Some days she doesn't. Some days she doesn't fall down. And some days she falls down all the time. So we're really trying to watch her and make sure that we are paying attention to everything that she's doing and anything new and anything that's changing. So what this means for Carter is that she's going to stay on the seizure medication because the misfires cause seizures and the seizures cause more damage. So we don't want more damage to happen. It is possible for children to grow out of this. Usually in this case right now, Carter's case is she was on a very high amount of oxygen for months at a time. And she was also born very, very early, and her brain was not to the point where it needed to be born. So her neurologist is referring us to a genetics doctor and also a developmental specialist so that we can continue to get all of the things that Carter needs, because obviously one of the main things being her gross motor function with falling down. We really need to make sure that we can exercise her body properly. And we're doing all the things. She's on the trampoline every day, the balance bike. We throw her around for sensory overload, all of those things that her body is like asking for because of these misfires. But it would be great to have another person be like, hey, you should do it this way and it might work better, or grow that muscle better. We need her to be stronger so that she can catch herself when she falls down and all of these things. So those are specialists that we will be seeing in the next couple of months. It takes months to see specialists. So I think we will see them all by the end of this year. So that is where we are. She is officially diagnosed with epilepsy of the left side. What we're happy about is that this clears out a lot of things we were thinking, like cerebral palsy and other muscle disorders and things of that sort, or imbalance, inner ear issues and things like that we were talking about. It's not that. It's epilepsy. She does have damage. It's in a certain part of her brain. And she might grow out of it. We have a lot of specialists and therapies and things to do to keep working through that for her to be the best that she can be. And we're just going to keep going.
Dory. I love to swim in. Dory. When you want to swim, you want
See,
to
I'm gonna get stuck now with that song. Now it's in my head.
Sorry.